5.3 power plant Canyon. Hell, all I need now is an unlimited discount tire card. Next! You know why mid-60s international pickups are cool? Because no one has one, except this guy. And I kind of hate him now. Only virgins I ever been interested in was the automotive kind, and this untouched lady might ought to come live with me before somebody screws around and puts some go-to-hell wheels on her. Single cab and no AFM? Yes, please. Give me the keys to Casper, and I'll try to forget it's a stepside. Give me Cecil Allen Moore on the radio, a big cigar, and the finest fedora in Jackson, Tennessee. We headed to the downtown tavern. If you're gonna have a Hummer, why not have the Squatty from GTA 5? Listen, how fast can we rack up 5 stars? Ha Rancheros and Edsels proved that you can be so ugly, you're beautiful. Woo, it's good enough for Murtaugh, it's good enough for me. I still one of the best looking dualies ever made. It's sending me straight back to East Bernard. I know it ain't a Macho Man package, but it's Simon and Simon enough for me. Tag along, I'll comp you tickets to the Robert Goulet show. Man, just look at them lines. Form and function come together again in a symphony of we can do it and we can look damn good doing it. If you can't take that truck to Fort Lauderdale and load that bed up with agreeable women, you might be hopeless. Well, my affinity for bump sides is well known, but this undercover brother's giving off big Crown Vic and I'm here for it. Does it have too many doors for me? Yes, but hell, they all do now. I still want to drive this thing to Kitty Hawk and live in it along the way. I know that truck ain't no stranger. I know that truck. It's a beat-to-piss third gen with a faulty flex fuel sensor and probably a cracked head. Next! Well, that takes 10 minutes to start and 10 days to turn around. It's got a Cummins badge on it, and if it's a swap, I'm assuming it's a millennial diesel nerd who wants a Cummins the world. Thank goodness someone solved that unreliable diesel problem that Ford had. Not the real urban assault vehicle. Do them back doors pop open when you hit second gear too hard? How many broken Harbor Freight jacks are in your garage from trying to lift up that MP205? Boy, it's just hard not to like a guy that puts a flatbed on a Frontier, but I see a house in the background, Diamond Jim. Don't be sending me pics of your landscaper's truck trying to get on the gram. Man, I'm disappointed they took the OU banner off. Everybody knows old Fred and the Boomer Sooner Brewick. He got a little side hole making custom cornhole boards and a little medicinal gardening up in the sleeper. My brother had this with a 383 stroker, and he turned out to be a sailboat racer and a software engineer, so who the hell even knows anymore? I can't help but imagine this guy spent a lot of time trying to convince people that two-wheel drive is actually better than four-wheel drive. It's not. It's not my fault being the biggest and strongest. I don't even exercise. Next! Oh shit, not the Gen X retirement package. Well, hell yeah, I carry my lunch to work in an old Cool Whip container. Why you ask? I love that we love long-bedded loves. Love to dream about sticking a 3-liter Dirty Max in one and lugging about on a lovely day. Your smartest Mopar men always have a secondary mode of transportation. Lamont, you big dummy, I drive a Ford. I do love Apaches though, and coincidentally I only accept Apaches with that rust hole in the door. That's like the blue check mark of Chevrolet Apache trucks. Boy, I always wanted to try wearing a Ford Courier, but I don't think cream's my color. You got anything in black? It's slimming. Woo! Diamond Jim just won the pull tourney over at the Denim and Diamond. Now he's headed over to your mom's job, buy himself a steak dinner and see what time she gets off. It's insane to me that the rest of the world figured out that all we really want is a couple doors, a bed, a diesel, and 4-wheel drive and a snorkel before the largest economic superpower in the world did. If it's got a radio, tune it to that Ethiopian jazz. I like it. It sounds like Cajuns too drunk to play Zydeco fast. Tundras, ugly as a mud fence built by a blind electrician, but they're real good. See, Toyota ought to hire me in the marketing. If you didn't name that truck T-Bone, you missed an opportunity, sir. Just fill that fender dent in with some ramen like them TikTokers do. That man is on a first-name basis with the manager of O'Reilly's and AutoZone and the fellow what used to own the Radio Shack in town back in the day. 62 double cab splitty, son. You better hide that before Gabriel Iglesias shows up on your doorstep. Next! This mother... You sent in a fire truck? Everybody knows fire trucks are the best. They even got their own color of red named after them. If you're a car guy and you haven't thought one time about buying an old fire truck and restoring it, you a damn lie. 73 grill might be peak Dodge for me, especially them cab running lights and that unassuming brown. It's like driving a Ray Wiley Hubbard song. Not Snake Farm, but maybe Dallas After Midnight. Well, I could make more money selling the hood, tires, and wheels than I could trying to convince somebody to buy that whole package. Is the extra hood to give more room for the spark plugs to fly? Oh, Studebaker chance. Studebaker was light years ahead of their time. They didn't know that people wasn't going to be into trucks that looked like a Jeep Gladiator made love to a Mercedes until like 30 years later. Huh. Your guess is as good as mine, honestly, but I suspect there's a Lennar model home somewhere missing its cabinets and staircase. Son, that's the best looking Tundra I ever seen. Next! Tell me you smoke Camels in the soft pack. You spend a lot of time irritating folks at estate sales without telling me. Chrome rain guards are a choice, brother, and this path leads to a tennis ball cane. Well, you see, kiddo, back in my early 20s, during the height of the Y2K scare, that Ford started making residential APCs. To this day, they remain popular with cartels and terrorists or rebels, depending on what your politics is, and Boy Scout leaders and such. Hell, I seen one in Reynosa that would make B.A. Baracus jealous. That's the most interesting vehicle in the world. You can drive through a river in the middle of the Congo, but on a humid day in Houston, you're going to be out there perched up under the hood with a hairdryer trying to dry out your electrical connections. In about 3 months, this guy is going to tell anybody who'll listen to him what a piece of shit the 4L60 is without a hint of irony in his voice. I suspect at some point all these old Land Cruisers are going to outlive their owners and go off somewhere and form a society of their own somewhere we can't get to. This one looks like it's hiding in the woods laughing at that Land Rover. Boy, I go to hell hood and Amazon Bull Bar just screams angry young Gen X dad revving his engine in time to crossfade in the Carl Jr. drive-thru. What I really want to say rah, 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 is I'm sorry for the way I am. Rah, rah.